Bridal Babes, I hope you're ready for another exciting episode of your favorite local wedding show, Bridal Buzz. Today we're in the studio with Paige and John. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of
Thank
course.
you.
And it's the first episode of the new year, so welcome to 2022. If you're getting married this year, go on to our YouTube channel, listen to our podcast. We have an episode about 22 trends to look out for in 2022. And a couple of other reminders. The Wedding Fair show is on January 16th, and the day before is an open house at Canyon Springs Golf Club. You're not going to want to miss these two events. Start out the 2022 wedding planning year on a high note. And shout out to today's sponsor, Limelight Photography and Video. You're going to hear a little bit more about them as we go along. But with that, let's get started. So, Paige and John, thanks again for coming into the studio today. Let's hear a little bit about you two. So you can tell me a little bit about you as individuals, and then we'll hear a little bit about you as a couple.
Okay, so I grew up in Kyle, Texas, but I graduated from Canyon Lake High School. Then I went to college at Texas State. I actually met John junior year of high school.
Yep.
But we started dating my senior year of high school right after he graduated.
Okay.
Yep.
Aww.
And then I'm John, born and raised in Bernie.
Okay.
From there, went to high school in Smith Valley and then started community college and yeah.
He moved with me to Texas State
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
actually moved to College Station.
first.
Yeah. Started doing that and then came to Texas State.
Wasn't the right move.
No, we moved every year since we started dating.
Wow.
So 8 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that's 8 years,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And she told me 2 days ago she wants to move again. So I'm like, all right.
Well, and you guys are in home building, right? So I
Yes.
feel like you're around it all the time. I would probably want to buy half the houses I saw. So that's
Yeah.
got to be hard.
Yeah. But we met on Facebook. We had a mutual friend. My best friend worked with him, so they were friends on Facebook. And then I guess he was tagged in something. I don't know. Just a mutual friend on Facebook, and he drove a dually in high school. And growing up where we grew up, we all like trucks and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's how we kind of started the conversation.
You're like, wow.
Yeah. But it took us a whole year to meet.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, from Facebook to IRL.
Yes.
Wow. And like, is this friend now, do you thank them every time? Like, thanks for tagging that person.
Yes. Yeah. But my mom is the one that set us up.
Oh, okay. So tell me a little bit about that.
I had no idea until like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In which it got pretty awkward in the living room whenever she was explaining it.
Okay.
Oh my
so-
gosh.
That she was texting me, not actually Paige was texting
Yeah.
me.
You
So
were like,
yeah.
what? I was dating your mom?
it was very weird.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, okay, not to get into like too much detail, but my past relationship wasn't very great, right? And so just for like safety reasons, my text messages went to my mom's iPad so she can kind of see what I was getting in, what I was sending out,
Okay.
that type of thing, right?
Okay.
And at that point, we had already been friends for like a year. And I finally told him, I'm like, look, if we don't meet, we're not gonna do this, right? And my mom was like, no, this isn't happening. And so he asked me to go to the movies and I did not respond. However, my mom did on the iPad, set the whole thing up, and I came downstairs because I thought me and my mom were going to the movies, and he was down there. And I was like, what? What is this? Yeah, so that's how it started.
What a surprise. How was that emotion? Were you like ready to see a man there? Were you ready to be like, oh, I'm, ready for a date? Or
Absolutely not. No, I was not. He didn't talk the whole time. He's so quiet and I'm so talkative.
oh.
It was so funny.
And how did you feel? And you didn't know that it was a surprise until recently.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
I mean, she came down and I thought she was excited, so.
It was really just shock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. But the day was fun.
yeah, it was fun.
What movie did you guys see?
At the time, it was when Bad Grandpa came out.
Oh my.
So it was, Paige gets jokes like so late on, so everyone would
Just
laugh.
takes a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone would be laughing, and then like 2 minutes later, you just hear her start cracking up, and the whole movie's silent.
And he's
so I'm
like
just-
sinking in his chair the whole time.
You all like barely even know each other.
Yes.
Have only been talking on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. And so how long after that date did it take you guys to kind of get into a more serious relationship?
I think honestly, it was pretty quick. Just
Yeah.
with talking for a year, you learn so much about someone.
Right.
So once
Yeah.
we actually started dating, and I mean, it just kind of clicked.
Yeah,
So.
probably the third time we met. Because the second time, again, I wasn't interested yet. And he was like, well, I'm going to take you to school. I'm like, you're not driving all the way out here. Because he went to Smithson Valley, I went to Canyon Lake. But he did. And I was like walking out to go to the truck, and I see him driving down my driveway.
Aww.
I'm like, okay, well, I guess he's taking me to school. Did not say a word to me the whole way there.
Yeah.
And then he texted me once he dropped me off. He's like, hey, you want to go on a third date? I'm like, you didn't talk to me the whole way there. So then after that, it was pretty serious.
Yeah.
And you guys were what, like 17, 18, 19?
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
But it worked.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm sure he's opened up a bit over the years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank God.
Yeah. So you guys have been together for 8 years. When did you decide she was the one, Paige was the one?
I don't know if there was like one defining moment, but definitely probably over the first 3 years. I mean, I really knew.
I'm getting
And
chills.
I
I love love.
And I told her too, just like, I'm gonna propose, but you have to finish college.
Mm-hmm.
And so my biggest thing was, she knew it was coming. My parents were finally just like, okay, it's been 3 years, and then it was 6 years, and they're like, are you kidding me? You gotta hurry up.
I'm like, I'm getting to that point too, don't worry.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, she definitely knew, but I wanted to wait till she was out of school, just
Mm-hmm.
like I told her, school and plan a wedding at the same time. I feel like there's going to be some
Yeah.
conflict there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And what about you? Was there a moment, or was it over time?
I think it was probably over time. Because, like, even after during those first 3 years, like, you don't spend that much time with someone if you don't plan to be with them for a long time. But then, like, once we hit the 3 and 4 year mark, it was kind of like, we don't see doing anything else other than being with each other.
Right.
So, like, I don't know. It's just that 3 to 4 year mark, we're kind of like, okay, yeah, we're stuck. This is it.
I guess you're my person.
Yeah, whether there's a ring or not, like, we've invested 4 years. Like, that's a long
Aw.
time. Yeah.
And when did the ring come into the picture? So did you start planning a proposal like at that 3 year mark, and you were just knowing in the back of your head, eventually this is how it's going to happen?
I mean, no, it was probably, I knew about it, and then it was just trying to afford a ring. I wanted to pay cash. I knew if I put it on my credit card, she would flip a switch. So
Same.
if she found that out.
Yeah.
So really, it was just, I think I spent about a year and a half saving
Aw.
under the radar, because we were still budgeting for trying to, constantly moving, so trying to pay deposits and stuff like that.
Well, and my first job was a financial analyst. So I'm a budgeter, and we do a $0 base budget. And so I had no idea he was saving for a ring. So to me, it was a whole surprise.
Wow.
And the first thing I said to him when he proposed was like, you didn't finance this, right?
Yeah, so that was a little hard.
And he was
we
like,
weren't budgeting for this.
yeah, he was like, are you serious? I was like, well, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I was kind of, usually you say yes first, and then maybe ask me after we walk off type
Yeah.
thing, but that was
Literally, you were on one knee, and she's like,
Yeah.
how are you saving for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I
So
love
that.
that.
That threw me a little off guard.
Oh my gosh. Well, I want to hear a little bit more about the proposal, but first, let's give a shout out to today's sponsor, Limelight Photography and Video. If you're in the San Antonio area and you're looking for someone to capture those special moments on your special days, Limelight Photography and Video is the perfect company to do that with. Photography and video all in one, so you don't have to go spread yourself thin with multiple companies. They got it all in one house. So check out Limelight Photography and Video today on sanantonioweddings.com, and let's keep talking to Paige and John. So you got down on one knee. You're asking, where the heck did you get this money? You're like, yes or no? Where
Yeah.
was the proposal? Who was there? Tell me the deeds.
So it was in Bernie,
Okay.
at the gazebo downtown.
Cute.
So I'm from Bernie. She loves Bernie,
Aw.
so ended up planning that just with my family. Her parents wanted to be there, but they were definitely in the loop on everything. So we ended up having my sister doing photography.
Aw.
My stepdad was definitely creepy during it because he sat on a park bench and you could clearly see him.
Was
Yeah.
he like trying to be incognito, like
Yeah, but he
sunglasses?
wasn't.
Yeah, but you can spot him out. So it's just, as soon as we were walking up, I was like, okay. like,
Yeah.
You could have picked a different bench.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know when you saw stepdad?
Okay, well, here's the thing, though. Because that was the second time he got on one knee.
Yes, that was.
Wait, what?
Which
He-
we didn't. We have told our parents.
Yes.
Since I finally
Yeah.
came out.
So there's a lot of building up to this.
I'm like, I didn't know this.
Yeah, there's a lot building up to that Bernie plan. But the night before, he was just like, we were both pretty stressed out. And so I'm like,
I was stressed out.
Yeah. And so I was like, I'm over this. And he was like, okay, well, I'm just going to do this now. And so.
It didn't happen like that.
Okay, but this is
the summarized version.
And so I was in my pajamas trying to go to bed, and he proposed, and then I had to give the ring back so he could propose again the next day
for the photos and everything.
And I couldn't even wear it.
Yeah. So she was very upset about that.
Yeah.
So you had already said yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, there's like a few of her birthdays, just when trying to save money to move and stuff like that. We've done like her birthday parties where I get both the dogs, get a cake, put hats on them and stuff like that. And we have like a little birthday party for Paige.
Okay.
So we did the same thing. She was very upset with my little sister because, she was supposed to get dressed up nice, and then she texted Paige, no, I'm not going to dress up nice for
They
photos.
wanted to take photos before going to the river. I'm like, I'm not doing my hair and my makeup. And they're like, no, but you have to.
But you have to.
Yeah. So
oink, oink.
ended up, she was getting frustrated. I was like, well, split decision. We've done birthdays like this, and she loved it. So got both the dogs to come into the room, sit down, and then made her stand up.
So that was the private,
That
was
proposal.
the private,
Yeah.
And so did you know there was going to be another one literally the next day?
Well, I didn't know until he proposed, because he was like, this is what tomorrow was about.
Aww.
Yeah.
This is why I was so stressed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about y'all's relationship together. What is different about the love you guys share compared to maybe what you thought love would be, or things you've experienced in the past? How does it feel to be with the person you're going to be with for the rest of your life?
Well, I think like in the movies, it's always, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. But like, you don't have to say I love you to show love. Like for instance, I forget to eat a lot. So he'll text me, did you eat today? Did you remember to eat? Or are you hungry? Do you need something? Like that's love too. Or like when he gets in the truck to go to work, I tell him, okay, drive safe. That's another way to love. You know what I mean? So I think that's different. Like you don't have to just say I love you all the time. Like of course we say it,
right?
But there's other ways to do it as well.
There's more than just chocolates and flowers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Love is so much more than chocolates and flowers.
Yes.
And what about you, John?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think she gets so annoyed with it, but anytime I'm at work and something happens, I'm trying to call Paige, and she's like, I'm at work. Like, what do you want? And
he calls me all the time just to tell me things.
Real quick. Like, take me 2 seconds. And then it's like 5 minutes, and she's told me 6 times, like, I have to go. I have to go.
I'm literally on the clock.
Yeah. So I think it's just, every moment I have that is, that I experience, I'm wanting to tell Paige, like, as soon as I can. Or, I mean, when I get home, I talk for, an hour before she even gets to say anything.
All around the house.
So, we'll eat dinner. She'll get up and, like, go to our office or something. I'm just right behind her trying to talk to her.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you listening? Did you hear me?
I feel like this is so similar to my relationship with my boyfriend as well. Like, I'll come home and he works from home and I work here, so I'm like kind of a little bit more socially drained than him, and he'll just be like, and he'll call me and send me pictures of our cats in the middle of the day and be like, why didn't you answer my text? I'm like, babe, I was working.
Yeah.
I'm not at home in my PJs. Like, no offense to anyone working at home, but it's like it's very different.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've enjoyed the planning process. Is there anything that's been surprising to you about planning your wedding?
I think sticker shock is a huge thing. However, I'm not as stressed as a lot of people want me to be. Like, they're always like, are you stressed out? How's wedding planning? How's it going? I'm like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. Like, if you have the right people and you have the right vendors and you're with the right people, it's not as stressful, at least for me, that some people try to tell me it is.
And the right support system around you, right?
Yes.
Like mother of the bride or father of the bride, they're like helping you groom, helping you along the way. It really makes a difference, 100%.
Yeah.
What about you? Is there any surprises?
I think what she was saying, sticker shock.
What is sticker shock? What is this?
Like pricing.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
I feel like, duh. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, give an example, florals.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay. So
yeah.
I told my florist, or our florist, like, okay, this is our X amount of budget, but this is what I'm wanting. can we just get both pricing? And it's double what we wanted. But we did it. No questions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, a floral display that is epic makes a wedding for me. I'm like, oh.
Yes. Florals was one of our top 3 when we started planning. So,
but it was probably around the same price as your venue, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
It was. I offered several times to Paige that I could go to Dollar General and pick up a lot of stuff.
Some fake
for
flowers.
That price, yeah.
Not the same.
No, and then who's going to make the bouquets and the displays
exactly.
that day, right?
I don't want to DIY anything.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. And to each their own. I'm the same. I don't want to, if I have the privilege to be able to, I don't want to have to do anything on my wedding day. I want to be able to just be like, paint my nails, paint my face, bring me to the altar on a little cushion.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you guys have been engaged for a while. So do you have everything planned? Is there anything left that you're looking for?
I think the only thing that we have to pay for is an officiant, but I think we're doing Texas wedding ministers.
Hey,
yes.
Shout out.
Yeah. We just need to book it. But yeah, everything is done.
Cool.
As far as I know. Yeah.
Well, I think the other thing is probably if we're wanting to do a getaway vehicle. So my dad's trying to help us out on that.
Interesting. Would you guys go for something vintage, something classy?
I mean, to be honest, so
a Mustang.
My dad buys a lot of vehicles
for
some reason. He did buy a fire truck a few months ago. So
we're not doing a fire truck.
He is wanting us so bad to leave on a fire truck.
Okay.
Dad can leave on the fire truck.
Yes, they have this plan for the fire truck. It was supposed to be a surprise, but we are doing a getaway car.
Yes.
You just aren't supposed to know about it.
No.
But that has to...
Well, this wasn't discussed here. Nobody heard anything.
Exactly. We'll talk about this later.
Yeah. I'm like, la, Bridal Buzz did nothing. We were not involved in the... Okay. And do you guys have any tips for brides and grooms, anyone getting married in the San Antonio area right now?
I think the first thing is don't stress about it. The second thing is be involved with the wedding industry. Like, I interact a lot with y'all's Instagram, but you learn a lot from it. You learn a lot from podcasts. And then I'm always in tune, like, with my vendors. Like, when they post things, like, I'm always trying to talk to them, see what they're doing, because that's how you connect with them. If you're not connected with your vendors, they're not going to be able to provide you what you're asking for, and just give them free reign. Like, they're creative for a reason.
100%. And they're people who are relationship driven. Typically in the event industry, you care a lot about people. And so forming those actual relationships with your vendors is only going to benefit you and your wedding.
Yeah. Like, we got a Christmas card from our florist. So just be in tune with all your vendors, and it makes it a lot easier.
Wow. Anything from the groom's point of view?
I mean, I guess, I've been kind of involved with everything she's doing. She kind of took the reins on everything, but really just, looking around. So, we went and looked at several venues. We went and looked at several, caterers and stuff like that. She definitely had one picked out, but we still went and just took the time just to, sometimes, like, the one that we ended up going with, they didn't have the same one as this one. So really looking at your wedding party and kind of what's going to help everyone.
Yeah.
So.
What a fun process too.
Yeah.
Eating food, looking at flowers, smelling flowers. With that, thank you again, guys, so much for coming. I really appreciate you. Honestly, I'm one of your biggest fans because you just are an amazing bridal babe. So thank you, Paige, for being a bridal babe.
Of course.
And thank you, John, for supporting your bridal babe.
Thank you.
And coming into the studio today. All right, bridal babes, that was it for Paige and John's episode. Thanks again for tuning into the first episode of 2022. We'll have one every week following. Don't forget, Limelight Photography and Video, Wedding Fair Show January 16th, Canyon Springs Open House on the 15th. And with that, goodbye. Let's wave to the camera.